To my future wife, Grace, Part 7, Rehab or Rehome, an open letter. February 21st, 2024, 1:56 p.m. Hi Grace, I finally made it to the library. Here's a view from today's location. I live in the Vancouver area, Grace. I'm not sure I mentioned that before. With the transit pass provided by Provincial Disability, I have access to hundreds of libraries. I like this one because of the bathrooms. They are perfection. I'll explain why in another letter, though, as I want to continue with the HA idea. As I mentioned before, Grace, many people in rehab are not addicts. They are simply escaping the street. When I was in rehab, more than one person confessed to me, saying winter was their only reason for being there, not drugs. They told me it's full now, but when the spring hits, it empties out. Many are repeats, using the system yearly. Once you know the steps, it's easy to manipulate. My suggestion is to acknowledge the situation and create a new system for the non-addict homeless, where using the system meant to be provided for the actual addicts and their addiction, not a shelter for the smart homeless simply because they know how to fake addiction. I suggest we call this rehome instead of rehab. It doesn't cost the taxpayer anything more, and if HA or HA can help people off the street, it'll save the government money. If I was the boss, Grace, this is how I would set it up. 1. The intake process can be the same. It's basically a recommendation from nearly anyone in authority, like a doctor, police officer, social worker, or self-admitting. In my case, I shared a room with one other person. Other people in the house shared larger rooms with 2 people. I found this acceptable, and I believe most homeless would as well. If they don't, I guess they are not ready. In my case, Grace, when spring came, the place did clear out, and I was left with my own room for at least half of my stay. The food system at rehab made sense to me. Nothing special, but not prison food. Plus, they provided a kitchen if you wanted to prepare your own meals, as soon as you can afford food. Everyone in my rehab was either on social assistance or provincial disability. I should say majority, Grace. There were a couple on insurance provided by their workplace, or EI. Both SA and PD are part of the rehab system in BC, and a portion of your payment is given to the rehab when you're there. The remainder is for you. If I remember correctly, Grace, a few $100s, not much. It'd be enough for some simple pleasures. I was on SA when I went into the program, and the amount I received was fine. Everything was provided in rehab, plus they often received clothing donations from previous clients. I think I left with a new wardrobe. Grace, 95% of the government-funded rehabs are 12-step programs, and while the 12 steps on their own are not a bad idea, they either need to be fine-tuned for the homeless mentality or thrown out and start fresh. These are the 12 steps of my thoughts, Grace, for rehome instead of rehab. The actual step 1, we admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. Since for the non-addicted homeless like Rob, this no longer applies to a substance, I think alcohol should either be removed or changed to powerless over life. Number 2, came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. Fuck this one altogether. Only the individual can restore themselves. Fuck God or any power greater than themselves. On the other hand, if the homeless person is religious, nothing changes. They can continue to be a Bible thumper all they want. Nobody will stop them. If we eliminate this step, it doesn't affect the atheist or the believers. On the other hand, eliminating the step puts the power back into the hands of the individual instead of something, God, that doesn't bother to show up. 3, make a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understand Him. Keep the step and change it to make a decision to turn our lives around with the help of others like me who have gone through homelessness or truly understand the needs of the homeless. I know that's too long, Grace. I'm just ranting like Rob. How about make a decision to turn our lives around with the help of others? I like that, Grace. Let me know your thoughts. 4, make a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. This one can stay. Everyone in the world should do this yearly, either formally or informally. 5, admitting to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. Yuck. How about admitted to ourselves and to another human being the exact nature of our existence, how we got there, how we got to where we are, and why, from the individual's perspective. After an inventory, I think it's good to share, but it needs to be in an environment the individual is comfortable in. Many people do not want to stand up and tell their story at AA meeting, Grace. I understand. However, telling your story gives you a new perspective on your own life. But until God arrives on earth and shows his fucking face, or her fucking face, I wouldn't admit anything to him, her, it, them. It's my business. 6. We're entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character? Nope. Not until a spaceship lands. Step gone. 7. Humbly ask him to remove our shortcomings? Nope. Either eliminate or change to, it will humbly stop bitching about everything in my life and what others have done to me. 8. Make a list of all persons we had harmed and become willing to make amends to them all? Optional, but I like it. It's really a choice. Do you want to return to your old life /family? Then admit your role in whatever caused you to become homeless. Apologize for your bad behavior on your part and wait for their response. If they accept you back, great. If not, what difference does it make in your life? They are not helping you anyway. 9. Make direct amends to people whenever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. Again, optional but fine. It doesn't really need to be a step, but 10. Continue to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admit it. Doesn't this apply to every person on the planet, Grace? Do you admit when you are wrong, Grace? 11. Sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood him, praying only for the knowledge of his will for us and the power to carry that out. Pretty sexist with all these hymns, but no, I got bored halfway through reading that step. Do it if you like, but as I said before, if you're looking for God to save you, you probably already get on your knees nightly. Let's try that again, Grace. No, I got bored halfway through reading that step. Do it if you like, but as I said before, if you're looking for God to save you, you probably already get on your knees nightly. Religion doesn't need steps, only belief. 12. Having a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we tried to carry this message to alcoholics and to practice these principles in all of our affairs. Change alcoholics to all other humans if they so desire, and then sure, why not? One other benefit of rehab type program, Grace. One of the other benefits of a rehab type program, Grace, are new friends. It's easier to make friends with others in the same situation. I made 4 new friends in rehab, Grace. I haven't kept in contact recently, but I haven't contacted anyone recently. Most rehabs are staffed by ex-addicts, Grace. I think we should do the same for HA. Sure, it would be nice if every rehab had a psychologist or therapist attached to it, but it's unlikely to ever happen. And I think the peer-to-peer counseling is more effective because of the instant bond/empathy created by one or both parties. Many ex-alcoholics leave rehab and regain their life very successfully. I've heard their stories in the AA meetings, and they are more willing to hire others in recovery. Also, when I was in rehab several times, different ex-patients or ex-alcoholics brought over treats like pizza and ice cream. Once I remembered the top 2 halves of the wedding cake. It was delicious, Grace. Will we have cake at our wedding? I don't care. You can decide. I suppose I should clarify, Grace. If anyone else but you reads this, their first thought will be, there's no such thing as an ex-addict. However, I and about a few million other former drunks don't see our past addiction as a lifelong infliction. Nor should a person who is sober 10 or 25 years be called an alcoholic. It's insulting. If they like that label, fine. If that label keeps them sober, fine. For me, it's ex-alcoholic. I'm not saying people won't relapse, they may, but saying ex-alcoholic is a boost in confidence. I defeated whatever was dragging me down. Calling someone an alcoholic after not drinking for 25 years is also degrading and pointless. Don't say anything. Admire the person for having a superior will and not giving up and leaving the fuck alone, or her the fuck alone. Or maybe we implement the 7-year rule. If it's true that every cell in your body is replaced every 7 years, then in reality you're a new person every 7 years. If your body hasn't had your drug of choice in 7 years, then where does the physical craving come from? Why is the new body craving what the old one did? Shouldn't all new cells be smarter, Grace? What's the point of replacing them with the same dumb cell? Even better, let's remove all the labels after 7 years of absence. What are your thoughts, Grace? I wish I could read them now and get a sense of who you are, who you will become, who we will be. On another note, I just saw a hummingbird outside my window. I tried to take a video but dropped the phone when trying to zoom. If it comes back, I'll try again and post the video. If I don't, break my phone. By the way, Grace, I have a phone, but no phone number. Why spend money on a plan when I don't have a need to call anyone or receive any calls? It still works for 911, and that's all I really need. If my tent collapses in on me, metaphorically like Rob the other day, I can still call for help. I haven't checked Rob's page since I arrived at the library, Grace. I think he got in my head yesterday. I'm still aware today, obviously, but focused on you, if you don't mind. In a sense, this is our 7th date, Grace. I wish it was a visual date. I wish I could imagine in my mind what you look like. Are you old like me, or young and vibrant? But why would a young, vibrant woman be interested in me, Grace? Even if by some chance I became a successful comedian or I make some money in my life, I've already decided to give it all away. I think I mentioned that in a different letter. Well, maybe not all. I'll improve my life a bit. Expensive sausage instead of Walmart wieners, and keto pizza a few times a week. Those are my only 2 items out of my reach, living on disability. I'm not sure if you have extra money or if you live check to check, Grace. It doesn't matter to me. I'm just warning you now, though. My CPP check is all I can guarantee if we get married. Sorry, but I know who I am. I'll never work for another person/company/organization again. Why should I? As usual, thanks, Grace. David.